Welcome back, dear students. So, today we are going to discuss the next topic in the subject environmental impact assessment. So, in the earlier classes, we discussed what is EIA, the evolution of EIA, the various stages that are involved in the EIA process. Today, we will be discussing what is environmental clearance process. So, what is environmental clearance? Environmental clearance is the procedure to get clearance from the government for installation and modification of certain projects, and this is compulsory for projects which causes very high environmental pollution. So today we'll be discussing what is the environmental clearance process that is followed in India. So we know that presently the EIA is done based on the EIA notification 2006. So the government has made a list of projects under EIA notification 2006, and it includes various projects like the mining industry, the thermal power plant, infrastructure. So infrastructure means the highways, the ports, airports, etc. So environmental impact assessment notification 2006 has categorized the projects or the various projects into two main categories, that is category A and category B. So they are classified as category A projects and category B projects. We'll see what are these. So category A projects are those projects which falls under the category A, and such projects have to get clearance from the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, that is the MOEF. So the MOEF has to grant the environmental clearance for all projects which falls under category A, and here the appraisal will be done by the Central Level Expert Appraisal Committee, which is in short known as the EAC. And for all projects which fall under the category B, they have to get clearance from the State Environmental Impact Assessment Authority or the SEIAA, and here again the appraisal will be done by the State Level Expert Appraisal Committee, which in short is known as SEAC. Basically, the environmental clearance process is required for around 39 types of projects, and it covers various aspects. The process covers various aspects like screening, scoping and evaluation of the upcoming project. So already I told you what is screening, what is scoping, etc. Screening is nothing but the process wherein you will decide whether or not a project requires an EIA, and scoping is the process where you will be studying the various impacts, and all the key impacts shall be mainly dealt with in the scoping process. So, and the main purpose of environmental clearance is to assess the impact of the project that is being planned on the environment and the people, and also to try to abate or to minimize the impact of the project. Now, the schedule in the new EIA notification actually provides the list of projects or activities that require prior environmental clearance. So as per the provisions that is laid under the EIA 2006 notification, prior EIA environmental clearance, or environmental clearance is also known as, in short it is called EC. So as per the notification, prior environmental clearance is required for the following projects, that is all new projects or activities that are listed in the schedule, and secondly for the expansion or modernization of the existing projects or activities, and of course it is also needed for any change in the product mix if the pollution load is increasing. Now coming to the various steps that are involved in the environmental clearance process. So it is clearly depicted in the flowchart as shown here. So we'll see what it is. So to begin with, the various steps, as I told you, is depicted as shown in the flowchart here. So firstly, the project proponent will identify the location or the site of the proposed plant, and he also has to ensure that it complies with the existing siting guidelines. So here, if the project site does not agree with the siting guidelines, then what they have to do is they have to either identify any other alternative site for the project or drop the project. So the first step towards environmental clearance process or to obtain clearance is to identify the site or the selection of the site. Also, of course, we have to apply for the environmental clearance, which has to be made by the project proponent to the concerned authority. And then the project proponent will assess if the proposed activity or the project falls under the purview of the environmental clearance. So if it is mentioned in the schedule of the notification, the proponent will conduct an EIA study. Either directly it shall be done, or it shall be done through a consultant. So once the site has been selected, they will go for the EIA process or conduction of the EIA, and after the EIA report is ready, the investor will approach the concerned State Pollution Control Board, or it is in short called as the SPCB, and of course they will have to consult the State Forest Department. So the State Forest Department has to be consulted if the location is it involves the use of any forest land, and it is the State Pollution Control Board that evaluates and assesses the quantity and the quality of the effluents that are likely to be generated by the proposed project, and also the efficacy of the control measures that are proposed by the investor to meet the prescribed standards. So during the process of an EIA, suppose there are some considerable amount of impact, the mitigation methods or the control measures also should be proposed. So if the SPCB, that is the State Pollution Control Board, is satisfied with the, or it is okay with the proposed control measures that is done by the investor in order to meet the prescribed standards, then what they will do is they will issue the NOC, and this is valid for say 15 years. So first step is selection of the site, next is conduction of the EIA, and then comes the NOC. The next stage is the next one, as you see, is the public hearing. So the public hearing is a mandatory step in the process of environmental clearance, and mainly for certain developmental projects, and this provides a legal space for the people of an area to come face to face with the project proponent and also the government, and they can express their concerns. So the public will have some opinion whenever a project or development happens, so this has to be taken into account. And the process of public hearing is conducted prior to the issue of the NOC from the State Pollution Control Board. And here again, the district collector is the chairperson for the public hearing committee. So they will form a public hearing committee which is headed by the district collector. So the Department of Environment and Forest, various taluks and Grama Panchayat representatives, then senior citizens of the particular locality, etc. So they are the usually these are the officials that are included in this committee, and it is headed by the district collector. And the hearing committee also hears the objections or suggestions from the public, and after inserting certain clauses, it is passed on to the next stage of approval, that is again by the Ministry of Forest and Environment. So after the public hearing is over or the process is completed, then the next process is where the project proponent will submit an application for the environmental clearance with the Ministry of Environment and Forest. And as I told you earlier, if the project falls under under the category A, then they have to submit it with the MOEF, and if it falls under project B category, the application form will be submitted to the state government, and along with the application form, the EIA report, then details of the public hearing, and also the NOC granted will be submitted. So now the next step, after the project proponent has submitted the application, the next step is the review by the Environmental Appraisal Committee. So in environmental appraisal, the documents that are submitted by the proponent are first scrutinized by a multidisciplinary staff that is functioning in the Ministry of Environment and Forest. And also if it is category B, of course the state government, they will have a committee that will decide on this. So they will also undertake site visits, and wherever it is required, the committee will make site visits They will interact with the investors and also hold consultations with the experts on specific issues as and when it is necessary. And after this preliminary scrutiny, the proposals are placed before specially constituted committees of experts, and the composition of this committee is as specified in the EIA notification. And such committees they are known as the Environmental Appraisal Committee. So they have been constituted for each sector, for each projects or each sector. They will have various environmental appraisal committees, and these committees will meet regularly to appraise the proposals that are received in the ministry. And in case of certain very special or controversial projects, you would have seen various projects where there is great objection from the public. So whenever there is a certain project or proposal which have aroused considerable public interest, the committee will also decide to arrange for public hearings on those projects in order to ensure the public participation in developmental decisions. And also the announcements of such public hearings, so they will publish it in the newspapers or some media, right? And this should be done, this shall be done usually at least 30 days before the hearing is to be done. So before the hearing, they will, prior to the hearing, at least 30 days before, the same has to be announced. So after the review by the Environmental Appraisal Committee, the next stage is approval of the or issuance of the clearance or rejection letter. So once all the requisite documents and the data from the project authorities are received, and after the public hearings, if at all it is required, after it has been held, the assessment and evaluation of the project from the environmental angle will be completed within, say, about 90 days, that is around 3 months, and the decision of the ministry shall be conveyed within 30 days thereafter. So again here the decision that is based on the recommendations by the Environmental Appraisal Committee or the State Environmental Appraisal Committee, the clearance will be finally granted or it may even be rejected. Especially whether it is granted or whether it is rejected, it is done by the MOEF, Ministry of Environment and Forest, for category A, and it is done by the State Environment Board for the category B. And the clearance that is granted shall be valid for a period of 5 years for the commencement of the construction or operation of the project. So after obtaining the environmental clearance from the concerned authority, so concerned authority here is either MOEF or the SEIAA, as it is applicable, whether it is category A or category B, the project proponent shall apply to the state board in the prescribed format along with a copy of the environmental clearance in order to obtain the consent for establishment. So this is the environmental clearance process that is followed in India. Thank you.